Epic showdowns are just the bread and butter for these games.
Lesson 1. Ballistics. This is my minigun.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video games with the best boss fights.
This is gonna be so awesome!
We're currently preparing a series on the best singular boss battles throughout the decades, but for this list, we're not just ranking these games based off one or two memorable fights, but rather all of the boss battles.
Now you want to talk. Too late, Batman.
Only one game per franchise is allowed, and we decided to rule out the Pokemon games, since the gym leader's Pokemon can also be seen in standard trainer battles. Number 10, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Let's see what you're made of.
Some boss fights are all about blindly charging into combat and simply mashing buttons. The bosses in the Metal Gear Solid franchise, though, require a little more strategy and finesse to defeat.
That's so different from simply changing the click.
Snake Eater brings together some of our heroes' most commendable foes with the strangest names, such as the Pain, the Fear, and the End.
You'll make a fine quarry for my final hunt.
Hell, the main antagonist in the game is literally nicknamed The Boss. How fitting is that?
I've never talked this much about myself before. Thanks.
Snake must put his stealth skills to the test and take advantage of his environment to succeed against these guys and gals. Being a true soldier, though, Snake can adapt to any situation to take down any enemy, even those closest to him.
There's only room for one boss and one snake.
Number 9, Batman Arkham City.
Only one of us can leave this chamber alive. We'll see about that.
The Batman Arkham franchise has received universal praise for making the player feel like they're really the Dark Knight. Part of the Batman experience naturally includes facing off with a colorful rogues gallery.
From up here, you look pretty small.
Arkham City features some of this franchise's most creative boss fights, based around Batman's greatest foes like Solomon Grundy, Ra's al Ghul, and Clayface. Two-Face is also there, although he kinda goes down like a wuss.
Sorry, Harv. This really isn't your night, is it?
Of course, the standout opponent here is Mr. Freeze, who you'll have to overthrow using multiple inventive tactics. All of these fights generally require the player to think outside the box, demonstrating that Batman is a detective above all else.
Are you the one I have searched for, detective? The one to succeed me?
Number 8, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. The Castlevania games are somewhat reminiscent of classic Universal monster pictures, but of course with their own unique signature. Symphony of the Night will put you in the shoes of a true monster hunter, challenging several fiends that scream gothic horror. There are familiar faces, such as a mummy and a Frankenstein-like creature, and there are also beasts straight out of Greek mythology, like Cerberus. Even Death himself makes an appearance. Oh, and you can't have a Castlevania game without Dracula, who only becomes more badass with each new form he assumes. The boss fights are so phenomenal that it's easy to forgive the admittedly hokey voice acting.
No!
Number 7, Mega Man X. When people think of the Mega Man games, the first image that typically comes to mind is the stage selection screen. This franchise has given us some unforgettable bosses, and a few laughable ones that we'd like to forget. There isn't really a weak link in Mega Man X, however. In this triumphant game, we go from challenging robot masters to creatively designed animal androids. Every boss, from Chill Penguin to Flame Mammoth, is ingeniously designed with an arsenal of slick moves. And with every victory, X earns himself a shiny new toy. Number 6, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Monster Hunter 4 has quickly become the most addictive game on the Nintendo 3DS, and for good reason. As its over-the-top title suggests, this action RPG is all about slaying monsters. Whether you prefer teaming up with your friends in multiplayer or the road of a lone hunter, there's no shortage of awesome beasts to seek out. The game boasts over 70 large monsters for players to face, ranging from the horse-sized Kirin to the awe-inspiring behemoth that is the Darin Morin. In fact, you can clock over 100 hours into this game and still not have seen all the monsters it has to offer. Number 5, Dark Souls. Dark Souls, and the Soul series in general, have a well-earned reputation for difficulty. Much of that controller-chucking frustration stems from the boss battles, which are varied, intense, and guaranteed to push the skills and patience of even the most seasoned gamer. A memorable game and often considered the best in the series, Dark Souls' boss battles are one of its greatest highlights. The game forces players to recognize patterns, adapt to changing situations, and above all, learn that no matter how intimidating an enemy may look, there is always a way to bring them down. Victory achieved and well earned. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda series has given us an assortment of boss fights throughout the years. And yet, even with Skyward Sword and Twilight Princess having incredible battles, Link's initial leap into 3D territory is arguably still his most epic adventure. These are some of the most distinctive and inventive bosses you'll ever see in an adventure game. No two bosses here look the same, that is assuming you count Twin Rovas as one. Ocarina of Time also notably introduced us to Ganon's humanoid form, Ganondorf, who has solidified his place as one of the all-time great video game villains. Number 3, God of War 3. The first two God of War games already had incredible boss fights, but the extra power of the PS3 allowed God of War 3 to create boss fights that one would find in a cinematic blockbuster. This third game in the trilogy finds our favorite Spartan fighting up the Olympian ladder to Zeus himself. All of the mythological icons on display are beyond badass, but our favorite might just be Kronos. A mounting titan, he's like a level and a boss fight rolled into one.
I will make you into a bloody stain.
If Kronos thinks he can just crush Kratos with his thumb though, he's got another thing coming.
My eyes!
Number 2, Bayonetta 2. You know the saying, go big or go home? Well, let's just say that Bayonetta 2 does not have to go home. Everything about this sequel is extreme and insane, with the boss battles being no exception. You want proof? Okay, so a grandiose demonic monster fighting you on the side of the Empire State Building. That's the prologue. How about this enormous manta ray underwater? Believe it or not, this is a sub-boss. Because of their sheer scope, almost every boss in this game could be any other game's final boss. Plus, thanks to Bayonetta 2's excellent combat system, you're guaranteed to be on the edge of your seat well until the final battle. Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
am the great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you.
Number 1. Shadow of the Colossus. Most games follow a basic formula. Complete a level, then face the boss. In Shadow of the Colossus, though, the bosses are the levels. On a quest to resurrect a fallen loved one, our hero Wander must defeat a total of 16 colossi. Majestic while also being intimidating, each of these juggernauts require a different tactic to take down. Figuring out how to slay every colossi can be frustrating, but it's just as rewarding once the deed is done. The player will begin to contemplate whether these creatures deserve to perish, and also about the consequences that your actions will ultimately have. Do you agree with our list?
It is your destiny.
What video game do you think has the best boss fights? For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Wait! I can't die! I was almost barely president!